And then they should be able to hear us now.
They can hear us.
There we go. Perfect. Yes. All right. Cool. Hey everyone. Hope you guys are all doing well. My name is D'Angelo Murillo, and tonight we're going to be playing Emerald Templars. Emerald Templars is a game I created, and I personally love it. And tonight we're here to show case its features and like in a campaign format, use all the like nooks and crannies of like mechanics that are in this game and be able to bring it to light, which is happening actually organically, which is amazing from all the like the brutal combat scenes and all kind of stuff, and like I need potions and like therapy, resting, social combat, all these sort of things are coming into play organically, which is really cool. Before I go any further, what we're going to do is have everyone go ahead and introduce themselves and like briefly talk about their characters as well, and all that. So as always, they've got to use their full chest. They got to be proud of themselves. They're all amazing and wonderful in every single way. So we're going to start off with Daniel.
Hi, my name is Daniel, and I also personally love Emerald Templars. I'm a Twitch streamer here on Twitch by the name of Nightshade, and I play Mateo Villalobos, who is a Vulgani Order of the Butterfly Paladin. And he is not at all sad. He is very happy on the outside and on the inside. And nobody needs to talk to him at all.
Those lies, yeah. I like how you invested in therapy, but you're not going to get it for yourself. You're just going to be like...
Therapy for everybody else.
Yeah, I get...
Yeah, everyone else needs it.
A martyr in
therapy
every
yeah,
way.
Therapists don't go to therapy, right?
Yeah, what?
That's not a
exactly. They don't need it. Exactly, yeah. They've already conquered their anxiety and all that. So, perfect. And then we're going to head over to Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen /Youngles, and I do things on the internet. And today I will be playing Harmony, who likes to cook food for wholesome reasons, I promise. And that's it.
I hope it's wholesome. Yeah, there you go. Oh my god, that's amazing. And then perfect. Heading over to Maria.
Hello, I'm Maria. I am a person on the internet who does things such as stream here on Twitch, and also be in other TTRPG shows. You can find me everywhere at Happy Capster. You can also find me as the community manager and PR person for Goblin Society games. That we make TTRPG stuff. I am playing Sadi Al-Halim. We both use she, they pronouns. And we're both witches, and that's cool.
Nice, amazing. And then Isabel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Isabel. You can find me all over the internet at Isabel is okay. My pronouns are any and all. I am a TTRPG performer, writer, and then the rest of my time I'm an engineer. So that's what I'm doing when I'm not doing this. And today I am playing Maeve Rose, who is a 7'2", lavender-skinned Oni necromancer and a delicate little flower. And Maeve uses she/they pronouns.
Physically and emotionally?
Physically and emotionally, she did get a traumatic injury in the last session.
Slip disc,
almost
yeah.
died.
Yeah.
So she's dealing with a lot of stuff right now.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh yeah, Sadi is also arisen, so I died once and now I'm not dead anymore.
Yeah, and then like, pain means nothing to you, because even if you get to 0, you have a long way to go before you actually
that's
go
true.
down.
Oh yeah, my mom's a sultan and doesn't know
casually you're just like, yeah, my mom just is a ruler of a nation.
Yeah.
Major political
Don't even worry
figure.
about it.
Yeah. So okay. Oh my gosh. So you died. I got better. Yes. Once again, this is a game called Emerald Templars. It is a dark fantasy tabletop role-playing game where you step into the role of an Emerald Templar, as these fine players have done so with their characters. And as the Emerald Templars, they've sworn an oath to protect the realm from anything abnormal, malicious, as far as like it goes with magic or religion or any sort of other way that could harm the community. Normally, the local governments and their standing armies would be able to handle any and all issues that come across their, their desk and all that kind of stuff. However, when something truly, abnormal happens, a lot of times they don't have the information that the Emerald Templars do, because they study tomes and like keep up with, what different gods are, sort of like normal, and other ones that are forbidden or forgotten, or like reports on what has come from the cosmos and landed on the world, and what is it brought essentially from like recordings from centuries ago and everything. So that is why the Emerald Templars are needed, because when something like that happens, they are the only ones who know how to sort of deal with it, or have dealt with it in the past. And in this situation, it is very similar, because as these Emerald Templar recruits that just got there, they just swore their oath and everything, as they were heading out to their first ever mission, they ended up getting overwhelmed by vegetation that was rapidly growing over this beautiful desert landscape and everything, like just forcibly throwing them into this like just realm of forests and flowers and all that sort of stuff, and even coming with its own creatures that are new and sort of unique, but they all seem like predators. They seem very malicious. There's doesn't seem to be any compassion or empathy that you would find in normal sort of magic, nature magic specifically. So the whole realm is just overwhelmed at this point. So the Emerald Templars have stepped in to investigate this and figure out how this happened and how to stop it. Now, last we left off, the group had been assigned to go to the trade route and just patrol it, wipe out any sort of creatures that are like threatening it and everything. And they did so, as they found these like weird sort of wolves made out of like ironwood, and they were able to slaughter them when they heard a distressing call from the distance. As they went to investigate, they realized it was from the young woman Besma, who had been like just snatched up with these vines and dragged forcibly through the forest, and then eventually pulled up into the air before she was rescued by the Emerald Templars. Now this act of aggression ended up triggering this forest maiden that was this sort of treant, this sort of tree sort of woman with these vines that would like warp and destroy organic life and kind of like imbue it into themselves and all that. So they like jumped headlong just right after combating some wolves. They were able to combat this giant weird malevolent force of nature and destroy it. Asterisk. As they found Besma, were able to help her and make sure she was safe. And then Mateo, as well as Maeve and Sadi, were able to use their combined forces of like necromancy as well as nature magic, and be able to strip it of this malevolent force, this necromancy that had been in part of it, and then kind of make it pure nature magic. And so they were able to purify it and the area around it immediately. And in their victory, in their night, they were able to share a meal together, where they kind of confronted Mateo with like his feelings, because he was very, very short. He was very, very cold, very distant from everyone, both emotionally and physically. And finally, kind of asked him what was going on, and nothing at all. Exactly, quoted from Mateo. Yeah, and then.
He's okay. He's fine. He's fine.
He's fine.
He's okay.
And in that time, it entered social combat, as they would not drop the subject, and they began to use every single resource they had at their disposal, from vices to help action to whatever they could do to crack, this stone wall that Mateo had built around themselves emotionally. All while Harmony made this delicious food, and they all ate it, and she kind of watched with a knowing, wise sort of glance as these youngsters were kind of going at it with one another. And eventually Mateo had been affected by their words, as they spoke from the heart. They got, spoke the genuine truth that something was wrong, and he could not ignore it, and they just are here to help. And if he doesn't get his mind straight, it's going to affect the mission. It might put them all in danger, which is obviously Mateo is not trying to do that. He's trying to always be a martyr and try to help out the group, even if it means hurting himself. These words cut deep. Now, Mateo had a choice to either let them in just a little bit and confide in them as to what might be the problem, or to double down on his distance and take 20 anxiety and just simply, stay away emotionally from them, and he chose the latter of the two options. And he took, accumulated a lot of anxiety from that, and did his stuff, and all that kind of stuff. And the next day, the group walked with a bit of tension back to Nazria, the city-state, the safety in the walls, as they were watching Besma and her mother like embrace and be so full of joy and everything as she's alive, and is thanking you guys for everything. So we now zoom in to that sort of moment as you guys are back in Nezria, and the walls, the soldiers, the people, and everything like that. There's a lot of safety and sort of comfort here. As they're sort of like hugging, and she's thanking you guys for everything, and she goes like, "I'm gonna go get the heirloom that I promised you guys from my family. It's all we have." And I want to make sure that you guys have it as a token of our appreciation and everything. As she hurries off to go and get that for you guys. Meanwhile, as she is essentially gone, you were here with Besma, and she mentioned this briefly before, but she'll mention it now. And she goes, "Listen, you guys risked your lives for me, and I know that it cost you dearly." As she especially looks to Maeve, who is still using probably the assistance of her skeleton to be able to help her sort of walk correctly, or even just she's riding on her skeleton, piggyback style, to be able to travel or whatever sort of way. And goes I feel horrible about this, so I want to help you guys out in any way I can. As I mentioned, I saw these rogue magi. I don't know what kind of order they were with or what they were doing, but I saw them towards this sort of temple ruins, and I think they were there for a long period of time, and I think they're probably still there. And if I had to guess, they have something to do with this. Now, to get from there to here, is kind of a already a risky sort of journey in normal conditions, but in this situation it seems really bad. So if you guys could just wait for tonight, I can go ahead and go with you guys and guide you through the land to be able to get to the temple, because it's not going to be on any maps or anything like that, but I've traveled this route so many times that I know exactly where it's at. As she goes so just wait for me tonight, and then I'll be able to guide you guys if you guys want my assistance. What would you guys like to say to Besma?
I think I thank her. Say thank you for offering to guide us. I think that would be invaluable. And I sort of look over at my other Templars. I think we probably need to check in with the Sultan and let them know that the trade route is clear tonight anyway. And hopefully that will gain us some goodwill, and we'll be able to pursue this lead.
Mattel's gonna speak up then and sort of look at Besma with concern. You just survived an harrowing ordeal. Are you sure you wish to go out so soon?
So, she considers your words, as it's true. She still has, bandages. She is looking a little bit more gaunt, and her clothes are kind of sagging off of her as she lost a bit of her life force from that fight and everything. But she doubled down in her conviction as she looks to you guys, and she goes, "Yes, I have a feeling in my heart of hearts that you guys are going to be the ones to resolve this sort of issue." A lot of people may not believe in the Emerald Templars, but growing up, I did. There's record proof of you guys doing good, in different communities, and I think that if I can help you even in just this little bit, then it'll be good. And if I don't go with you out here, it's going to be extremely difficult to be able to find these ruins. And every day that goes by that we don't find the origin of this, things just get worse. As you guys do look around and you see that supplies are sort of running low in different capacities. Tension is rising within the sort of city about what to do, and there hasn't been any merchants or anything like that traveling through from different communities. So you can kind of imagine that you guys are isolated in this time. And she goes so even though now I can take care of myself, I am trained, and I know this area quite well, and even if it's changed just a little bit, I still should be able to help you guys out. I swear that if you bring me along, I'm not going to drag you down. As you see, there's just conviction in her eyes.
Well then,
I don't.
no, go ahead.
I think Sadi will shrug and say, "She seems to made up her mind. I don't think that we'd be able to stop her even if we tried." And we'll just kind of like a sly side smile and like a wink towards her.
Mateo sort of dips his head a little bit in conciliatory, and he's going to go, "Very well, your guidance will be most appreciated."
And she and anyone else want to say anything?
I think Harmony just like does like the old lady standing there with the hands behind her back, just nodding in approval, watching all the youngins kind of handle their business.
Perfect. So the mother comes back, and you see that she has a like small kind of like ornate sort of chest that's she's carrying, and as she like runs over to you guys, she's out of breath and goes like, here you go, as she cracks it sort of open. As she does so, you see some like, even though it's been like quite a while and all that kind of stuff, and you see some ornate sort of gloves that appear to be sort of leather and some metal that's on it, that seem to be very like Wasia sort of inspired. If you look around to the other guards, it's very much looking like their sort of gear, but different, kind of like from an older era and all that. And she goes, "These are my grandfather's sort of gloves, and he used to serve as like a palace guard. Now these are magically enchanted, and from what I was told is that they are like made to protect the soldiers back then from poisons and all that kind of stuff and everything. So hopefully this will aid you sort of in this journey. I know it's not a lot, but please, maybe it'll help out." As she like hands it over. So game wise, these are medium armor sort of gloves. You get resistance from poison, meaning you take half damage from it, and and it gives you 4% to defense value for that as well, which I'll write in the
Maeve. Those gloves.
I did get the armor that we got from basically defeating and then helping the forest maiden. So I do have medium armor now.
Yay!
And I do have resistance to venom and toxins. So if someone else needs resistance to poison, I'm so if you need resistance to poison, feel free to take the gloves.
Yeah, just like bubble wrap Maeve as like to make sure that
you could, or you could bubble wrap Maeve. That Maeve will not object. But also, I do have already some resistance to poison. So if someone else would like to also have that, that's totally fine with me as well.
I'm not opposed.
Yeah,
Take
feel
it.
free to take them and add them on. Yeah, because you're more in the melee too, so you're gonna be hit more.
Yeah, I already have resistance.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna be so set.
Yeah, you're gonna be ready to go for this one.
I
There's
give the
not like a dedicated
horchata
place
to
for, like-
Mateo, since Mateo's the only one who's not resistant to poison now. So
Yes.
you're the only one who needs
But he can regenerate, so like I feel.
Oh, that's true. That's
He's
true.
got pretty strong regeneration.
That's good. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good.
That it was. Do these have a name?
Yeah, I put it in chat.
Oh, you put
it's
it
like
I
gloves of
see
the
it
palace serpent. Yeah,
now.
or serpent armor gloves. Yeah.
Gloves. Palace got. I have palace. Interesting.
Ooh, that's perfect for you. Actually, I'm so glad we gave it to you.
Perfect.
Like I've seen these before.
So you had said that you wanted to check out the like go to the Sultan essentially to report on your progress, right?
I think we need to, right? Are we still with our captain?
I can't quite remember. Did I mention
Or
last
did
time?
he
I don't-
leave?
I think he
think
left
he-
out to do something
yeah.
else.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Correctly.
I could
I
not
think
remember.
I think he walked with us here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He's a busy man.
Busy.
Yeah.
Then you can assume that he is probably talking to the Sultan himself. However, if you want to go there, you absolutely can, go there to speak with them.
Oh, I assumed we had to. I'm not like eager to go talk to the Sultan.
I think Sadi really, really, really wanted to talk to the Sultan. Like,
Seems like it. Seems
all
like
they
it.
wanted to do.
The only thing on my mind.
You're like, why were you a terrible mother? That's my question. And then you're just like,
Hey,
call-
Mom.
yeah,
Hey, I have a question. It's definitely relevant.
yeah, right.
And
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
not.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
take this personally.
But
But-
Why were you so terrible?
can you meet me in the
Yeah,
parking
yeah,
lot? As you just like,
Yeah.
You can just go up to a
Um,
sultan and say, "Why do you suck?" Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
consequences for that, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, but actually, though, I do want to. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
Let me tell you why Sadi does want to go and talk to the Sultan. But Sadi would want to go alone. Wouldn't like protest too much if others came. But just makes it a point to try to head without telling anyone really. Because they just saw they haven't really seen people around them die, and Maeve, while they're not like the closest that any person can be, did almost literally just die. And I think that the feeling that Sadi had dealing with the fact that Maeve almost died, something that Sadi has done, and thinking that other things, which I can also talk about when I have this discussion, is making her in a confrontational mood. Now that they're here back in the city, she has these gauntlets or these gloves, and in her head, the thing that she's thinking is, I felt terrible. That was the worst that I've ever felt. Did my mother feel any ounce of that when I died? Wants to really kind of get some answers, actually, before heading back out to potentially do other things or die again, you know?
Casually, yeah.
Real quick before I die the second time.
Yeah.
Really
Something
quick
to say
before
to you.
maybe we die, or maybe we just stop working for you specifically. I need to air out some old dirty laundry.
Sure. So we can imagine that, do you confide in your fellow, peers to say you're going to do this? Or are you simply like, I just need to do something for a little bit? Because you guys have the rest of the day, essentially, to chill out. And then at nighttime, she's going to sneak out of her kind of house to go with you guys and guide you to this destination. So, yeah.
I think with the kind of I imagine that there was a little bit of back and forth talk about maybe going to the Sultan, and then learning that our general guide person
Volek,
probably
yeah.
already went there, and maybe we
Volek.
don't have to. I think me just looking down at my vices real quick. I think. No, I think Sadi, even though there is this little bit of wanting to prove themselves, I think in this moment they want to prove that they're brave enough to do this thing that they were so scared about before. So I think that they would in the moment of discussion say, I think I'm going to go talk to her.
That's. What do you want us to do? Or...
So for Harmony, you know that you're essentially like the ranking officer essentially in this group, and you know that one of your Templars under your command is going to talk to a political leader, by themselves essentially. Now, obviously, she can say that she's going to talk, or they're going to say they're going to talk off the record, but if something goes down, it still reflects on you, which granted, these are essentially war times, so a lot of crazy things happen, but it's up to you if you want to be yeah, go for it. If something happens, or you'll be like, well, let me go with you just in case. So yeah.
I think Harmony would to go with, or to give them a red bean bun to take with them?
Here you go. Yeah, there you go.
I think there's a long moment of pause as Sadi considers all of these people who are offering to go with, and I think in this moment fights the instinct to tell everyone, no, it's fine, I can do it myself, because they don't know it's going to be fine, and they don't know if they don't know what's going to happen. So I think after that pretty long pause of kind of tense silence, to both Harmony and Maeve kind of voicing, do you want us to go with you? Sadi would just slowly nod and say, I think I need someone there. Maybe not while I'm talking, but definitely afterwards. I don't know how it's going to go, honestly. So if you want to go.
Wait outside.
Okay.
And be there when you're ready.
Perfect. So as you all sort of like, decide on how you're going to sort of spend this day, give your companion a little bit of space to go and, do this and everything like that. And then you decided to go alone, correct? And then said like, you'll need support afterwards?
Yeah, so I think the idea is to go into the actual chamber to talk to her by myself, and they would basically wait outside. So like be close but not in the chamber.
Sure. Okay. So you head over into... Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was going to say if there was any... we were announced last time, right? Were we announced?
Correct, yeah. Volok was able to like get you guys through essentially in here. Now that you're going solo, you enter into the lobby to find it like bustling essentially with a ton of people coming and going, begging for like, I need to speak with the Sultan. We have a lot of issues that they need to get answered about how we're going to distribute these, resources and all kind of stuff. And like there needs to be more guards looking out for people and X, Y, and Z. And then you see the secretary essentially is like, everyone calm down, we're going to be able to get to every single issue, one by one, but right now the Sultan is in a meeting, and to get everything sort of in order, to interrupt that meeting would be throwing them into even more sort of like disruption and chaos and everything like that. So and as everyone kind of like settles down from this and kind of like grumbles and kind of goes to their own sort of groups to talk about everything as they wait longer, they look over to you and is like and they go like, Templar, yes, it's good to see you. Did you need anything? Is there any way we can help you out?
Yes, although I'm not here today as a Templar. I need to speak with the Sultan. If you can tell her that there's like a pause that if everyone else is here can see, as they just taken like a slow breath. Can you tell her that Usa Bilawi is here to see her?
Sure. As he takes it, and then so go ahead and give me a influence and charm sort of roll, and you're an influencer as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. You can add that to your thing as well. They're like, oh my god, are you Saudi? Like, I saw your flyers last time.
44.
Okay, so with the 44, you have a full success. As you look to them, they are exhausted. They are the hardest working goblin in this whole goddamn city. And as they're trying to get everything sorted, and they look to you and go like,
would I have had, so I am, unless you think otherwise, I imagine that I potentially was buried with things that I had.
Sure, if you want. Yeah.
Owned. And I'm thinking like some sort of piece of jewel, like some small thing that I could wear that I
Yeah.
don't have on me at all times, that I could pull out in this instance to like
As
show,
proof of your
hey, yo,
royalty, essentially.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you do so. And we're going to say that gives you a 10% bonus to your, sort of roll, getting you to a 54%. So as you get to a 54%, you see this very overworked, exhausted, servant of the Sultan kind of like look to you and goes like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that, for you. I'll go ahead and let them know. And you see them like kind of, tell their assistants that they're going to go back for a little bit and then hurry up over to the chambers. The same chambers you guys had gone to talk with the Sultan, which you can see the doors are currently closed, which the last time they were open, and they go in there and it's like maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then finally they come back down, and they go like, you're allowed entry to go in, talk with the Sultan, but they did want to warn you that they only have like a brief moment to be able to sort of speak with you before they have to get back to other matters, but at least you have something. And they go like, this way, royal, my liege, as they kind of like just say whatever as they see. Obviously there's royalty of some capacity, or you're a noble or what have you, as they like guide you up the stairs, and you see that one of the doors is now parted and ajar, and through here you can see a meeting table with the same people that she was talking to before at like the war table sort of thing, as they're talking about resources, finances, how they're going to sort of like distribute everything, and a lack of resources and all that. And before they continue, she kind of raises a hand as she gets up and goes like, I'm going to need a moment to, please sort of clear the room. I'm going to talk to this Templar about like, the status of their sort of like mission and all that. And they're like, of course, as they like bow deeply to their Sultan, and then they take their sort of exit. And all that, and then they close the door behind him, and you are alone with the Sultan, as they stand tall, they stand proud. You see them all in their ornate sort of get up. They are exhausted, huge bags under their eyes, and they look to you and goes like, you summoned me, essentially, which is not something that people do, but please, I wanted to give you at least a few moments as you're actually doing something helpful for the for a change for the thing. Actually, she didn't know that you got revived, right?
Correct. Yeah. So in at least in Sadi's head, they were hoping that hearing the name of the child that they thought was dead might have some sort of a reaction with her. But yeah, as far as Sadi knew, she didn't know that Sadi was alive.
Okay. You see in this moment, it does elicit a reaction, but it's one of distance and coldness and all that, as she's there in a very formal sort of stance, as she kind of gestures to the table for you to take a seat, and it goes like, you've decided to make yourself sort of known to me, and I see you've joined the sort of Templars and everything, and so what is it that I can sort of help you with, or what did you want to discuss? Now, once again, you thought that it was going to elicit a very different reaction to what it is now, but the vibe that you get now, and why don't you go ahead and give me a like awareness notice check for this.
Can I make an eavesdrop roll?
Sure, if you want to. Yeah.
Listen to this conversation.
Yes.
So,
I don't know what the awareness may be.
why don't you go ahead and give me an agility stealth roll to be able to get in the building and get close enough to this, and then if you're able to,
I might not even make it.
You guys
don't make it.
You guys get on
I
each
got a
other's
0.
Oh, did you really? Oh my god.
I think because I can't walk.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't
Slip
get
disc.
far
Yeah.
enough.
You like summon all of your skeletons to be able to form like a
And
giant.
then I'm like, what do you mean I can't take it into the hole? I'm just going down the hallway. I'm
Yeah.
not going far. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's funny. So, yes. So, go for it, Sunny.
34.
Okay. So with a 34, the information that you get from this is that she kind of knew the whole time, it seems like. Now, you're not sure how she sort of knew, whether it be spies, informants, what have you, but it seems like even before the last time you visited, she already knew that you were, like, who you were. And she still chose to distance herself, keep you at arm's length, and pretend you just are a Emerald Templar. You are dead to her, essentially, in different sort of like meanings of the words and all that kind of stuff.
Hold on. Mateo's taking off his head at this.
Yeah, exactly. I feel something. Yeah.
This is why I wanted to eavesdrop.
You're right.
Yeah.
There you go. I will give you. Okay, so I will let you do this if you guys want to. Mateo and I don't know if you want to do that to Harmony, but you can do a hench roll, like a strength and hench roll, to be able to get on each other's shoulders and find like the nearest window to be able to sort of like peek through.
As a player, I would love to, but Mateo's actually staunchly against eavesdropping this.
Gotcha.
Can I
Because
just
it's
have my skeleton lift me
moments.
yeah, if you want to. So let me see here.
Oh, technically it was a 37 because chat gave me a +3, so it was a 37.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Oh, +3 to roll. Yeah, there you go. That is it's enough. So your skeleton is able to lift you sort of up here. It hurts your back to be able to do this, but you're able to get there and you're able to observe everything. We're gonna say for a little bit, as this kind of goes on, you're going to take physical stress because your body can't stand being in this sort of position for too long. Yeah. But for now, you're okay for this brief little bit. And yeah, so you recognize that she's known the entire time, and she's treating you like you're dead to her, like she doesn't have any sort of thing. And what would you like to do or say in response? As she's asked you, like, you summoned me, you wanted to talk to me. What would you like to talk about?
I think a lot of things were answered just by that small bit of insight. So I think the Sultan had offered for Saadi to sit down, if I remember correctly, and I think Saadi was on their way to sit down and kind of caught that vibe. Maybe has like a hand on the back of the chair, but doesn't actually sit. And takes a breath and says, "I don't want to take too much of your time. As it seems like it would be time that is not valued to you. So I had an experience while doing this task that you put us on, and watched someone that I'm growing to care about almost die. And it struck me in that moment how terrible it felt to watch someone slowly slip away from you. And it made me wonder if you ever felt an ounce of that towards me, or if you saved it all for my brother.
Perfect. And let's see. Ooh, that's a 92. So she reveals nothing to you. She's very cold, very composed, and this sort of thing. As she takes a moment to listen to you, and she goes, "Did you decide this? Like, as she references to you being arisen, like, was this your decision? Like, did you volunteer for this?" As there's a bit of tension in her voice and a bit of frustration that she's letting leak. Yeah.
I wish I had been given the choice, because I would have chosen this. a second opportunity to live a life that you didn't choose to give me.
You see that her frustration eases as you admit that you were not the one to like decide this, like it was kind of forced upon you, but then it like becomes tense again as you had admitted that you would actually prefer this and want this. As she kind of like sucks in her teeth a little bit and goes, I have been a staunch follower of Amun Ra my entire life, and you are given one life to live, and anything beyond that is an affront, essentially, to the god of life, and this is not okay. This is, like, I can only do so much as a sultan, and I have to respect all my citizens, regardless of their, living or their risen dead, and, but I have my own very strong opinions on this, and for me, my daughter died the day that she died, and she is dead. And I've known about this for some time. I didn't know how to handle it. I wanted to reach out. I wanted to send assassins to end you and make sure you were down for good. But at the end, I decided to give you my grace as your parent, to be able to allow you to live this second life the way you want to. But it will not be as my child. It will not be as my progeny. You will be this Sadi, as she kind of says, with the knowing what your new name is, essentially, and all that kind of stuff. And like, if I will admit that I respect your decision to join the Templars, because if anything you could do with this second life, you're actually doing something to serve the community and doing something to like better people around you. And you see that a lot. In her face, a lot of emotions are flying, and she is like letting loose, now. By the way, Maeve, you're gonna take 10 physical stress as your back is starting to hurt.
I was muted, but I wanted to say that I think I stopped as soon as the Sultan mentioned being risen, like, was that your choice? Maeve felt like that was too personal, and so would have gotten down at that point and not listened to that.
Yeah. Is someone eating popcorn as you're just like...
Maeve would have been like, oh, okay. She just wanted to check and make sure that she was going to be okay, but seeing that she's holding her own, and then she's like, that's too far. I don't need to know that.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I've heard too much
Conversation audible beyond the doors, especially to Mateo.
Oh, it will be, for sure. As
I can guarantee it will be soon.
Yeah. So I am so sorry to cut the tension right now, but I do have to help my wife with the baby. So we're gonna go ahead and take our 15-minute break and everything.
We're all gonna put the baby to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're all
All
going
of
to.
us.
Yeah.
All
One's
of
gonna
us.
put on the onesie.
Baby
the
doesn't
other
need to
one's
hear the
gonna-
rest of this. It's fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna be back in 15 minutes. So I'll see you guys soon. Goodness and everything, going back into this spicy situation where Saudi is talking to her mother and everything, who has very strong opinions about her, her current position in life, quote unquote, and all that. So, one thing that's going to happen now is that you have a couple choices. Number one, you can continue this conversation, which is getting heated as you see the Sultan is, like bawling their sort of fists or like gripping the table really, really hard, maintaining eye contact with you without breaking it, and like their voice is like, rising and all that kind of stuff. Even to the point where like at one point, one of the guards like just peers into the room, be like, "Is everything okay?" And then she goes like, "We're fine. Close the door and everything." And then and so like, "Of course, yeah," and then just kind of closes it and all that. So, number one, you could walk away from the situation and the conversation ends here. Number two, you could stay and this becomes a social combat where you will have to, go at it with her and, to, try to win your argument, to try to convince her to think differently, what have you. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. We're taking off our sandals. We're putting our hair up, but with words. We're staying. We're here. Saudi has words to say.
Sure. Okay.
So
So
I guess I'm staying.
that's really cool. Yeah. So and she kind of ends with this sort of like rousing speech of being like, I never wanted this for you. When you died, you were dead. Same thing with your brother. When he died, he was essentially dead. I didn't want him to be, either of you, to be brought back in this sort of manner. So much is taken from you now that you have become arisen, and it breaks my heart into a million pieces that this happened to you. And she even asks, who did this to you? Was it your brother? As she is very pointed about that and very sort of aggressive, as she already has her suspicions but not totally sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you can address it or you can just ignore it and talk about something else.
Mm-hmm. Sadi lets that last question. It doesn't even it bounces
Register.
off. It doesn't even register. And she's been trying really hard to also maintain this eye contact out of sheer spite, and anger. But it's hard. And she says, "You said you didn't want either of us to be this way. You said that you serve Amun-Ra in everything that you do. And yet you and whoever else decided to bring my brother back, but not me. You might not have liked it, but I'm sure you had a hand in it. And do you have the good of the city in your heart at all? Or are you just as selfish now as you were when I was really alive?"
Okay, go ahead and roll your influence and probably daunt in this situation.
Great. I don't have either of those things, which is why I think this is so hard for Sadi. Oh boy. What Sadi has is arrogance. That is 60.
Okay,
I'm gonna.
that's pretty
add
solid.
my- Yeah, I am gonna add. Can I add just one vice or two?
Only one vice. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm gonna make it a 64. I'll add my pride to that.
Okay, so with that 64, you end up beating her essentially just by 2%. With that 64, you say that to her, and it cuts a little bit deeply as you see her wince a little bit at this sort of topic and everything. And she takes a chair and just throws it across the room as it shatters against the sort of wall. And she's like, "How dare you question me? I've served this court and these people all my entire life, and I do care about them. Even if they choose to make a stupid decision like becoming arisen or taking one of their loved ones and taking away the opportunity for their spirit to go to the spirit realm and for them to go to the ender realm. Do you realize that when you die, that's it? It's oblivion for you. It's nothing. You cannot be summoned to help your descendants or anything like that," as she just goes off. But ultimately you see that tears are starting to leak from her eyes as she's letting she's becoming more vulnerable as you've won this sort of encounter. And go for it. Yeah. And you can see that she does care. She actually does care, but it's in a very
selfish way. Yeah. I think that actually in this moment, Sadi just stands there, hands on the back of the chair that she was standing next to, lets this woman have basically a meltdown, a temper tantrum, and then is slowly dissolving essentially, and just watches that for a little bit and actually doesn't say anything. Is just going to watch essentially her mother act like a child, and feels a little bit sad. But then I think after a moment, maybe even interrupting her, would say, you would rather have the potential to call me back at your beck and whim than enjoy me while I am standing here, alive, talking with you now. If that's the way that you see things, and you have given me the gift of no longer calling me your child, I will give you a similar gift and no longer acknowledge you as anything to me.
All right,
I'm
good.
going to turn and I'm going to walk away.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll. Yeah, same thing. Influence, daunt. If you want to use your pride, go for it. Make sure you're applying whatever percentage your pride has into your anger or anxiety stress, whichever you feel is.
Okay, great. It's gonna all go into anxiety. I don't even care. This is something that she wants this to hurt. She wants this particular thing to hurt as she goes to leave. That's a 96 because I'm including wrath.
Nice. She got a 92, so you so you win as the guards rush in as they hear the sounds of like destruction and like property damage and all that kind of stuff.
That's not far behind.
Yeah. with their weapons sort of drawn and like looking and assessing the situation as she huffs and she puffs and she weeps essentially as she just waves them off and like let her leave, like let this Templar go back to their business, and we have better, we have other things to attend to, and send for my advisors and all that kind of stuff. But her voice is cracking, and she can't look at anyone in the eye right now as she turns away from everyone and kind of goes and she kind of like uses her gauntlets to like press against her eyes and like all try to compose herself. But clearly you've hit deep and it's like affecting her, and you walk out, essentially.
I quickly walk out, and anyone who is like there, doesn't matter if they're guard, doesn't matter if it's all of y'all, like there is a waterfall that is about to fall out of my face, and I'm trying as hard as physically possible to not break in front of this person who used to be my mother.
And another marigold flower like appears on your a place of your choice, like your head or behind your ear, wherever you want it to be.
Jeez.
And then,
Wait, I'm sorry. Those just appear?
Yeah, it's my timer.
It represents how long until when she dies, she's going to be consumed by marigold flowers essentially, and then just kind of like and a new one has spawned.
I think it flowers in a place that Sadi doesn't see, but that maybe the Sultan sees.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's like because they've got fairly full long hair that they usually kind of keep tied up. So maybe it's like at the on their shoulder blade. It just kind of blossoms. Maybe a couple petals fall off and like are left behind in Sadi's wake as they storm out.
Sadi is like an emotional just assassin, like making everyone have anxiety breakdowns and all that.
Sadi's sad.
Amazing.
That's the deep sad will do that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're like there comforting the Sultan, be like, I went through the same thing like 2 days ago. It was just like...
Absolutely not. Maeve
No, I'm just kidding.
hates the Sultan so hard. Are you kidding?
It's so true. Yeah. So perfect. So
Is it obvious that Sadi looks like they're about to like?
Oh, 100%.
Burst?
They are
Yeah.
trying to exit stage left so quickly because without running, because it is very, very apparent. Like they turned as fast as they could after saying what they said, so that there was no chance that Sultan could see that they were about to have their own little personal meltdown.
I think-
Then, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, finish you first.
I was just gonna say that Mattel's gonna probably walk behind them to ensure that there's like this big, large man standing in the way
Same.
of like.
Yes.
Rain, Daniel, because I was literally gonna say Maeve immediately sends her skeleton to, so I think the skeleton and the paladin just like side by
Big
side
vulnerability
block
screen.
the block Sadi leaving.
Oh, I
This
love
behind
that.
big
her.
vulnerability
Wall.
screen between Sadie and like
Do you consume your
that woman
red
over
bun
there.
as you just like cry
Yeah,
into
the
it?
red bun is in my pocket. I'm thinking about it, but I'm getting out of here first. And essentially, I'm just like trying to find a place where there's not a lot of people, but like that is probably not within eyeshot of like that specific window or area. And it's just Sadi's just gonna. It's not. It's so it's almost like their legs just stop working, like their knees buckle and they just like fall on the ground, their hands like onto their hands, and they just start crying. They just start like it is the most pained they've ever sounded, because they don't really feel physical pain anymore. So it doesn't sound like, when they get hit with something. So it's probably the most in pain you've ever heard them sound. And they're just wailing. They're so upset right now.
Perfect. So, once again, you guys have the rest of the day to be able to do anything in particular. Now, if you have no pressing concerns or anything like that, then we can simply just fade to black to tonight. Now, granted, Maeve, you had sent a missive
I was
over
gonna
to
say.
yeah, and the details of that missive was essentially just checking in. Is that correct? Seeing how if they're okay, if they're alive, if they
Yeah, it was like immediately as soon as we got into the city, so it was a very rushed. It was like, here is my status of everything that's going on where I am. Are you okay? Like, what do you need? Like, can I send you something? It's just like a barrage of like questions and reassurances.
Sure.
Like very incoherent. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, so you had written this missive and you had sent it off. As you get it back, as you're like consoling Sadi and all that kind of stuff, and all that, and probably in the tavern and everything, a corgi appears next to you, wiggling their little like booty as they like reach into their back, and then they pull out like a letter for you, and then with a little bit of slobber on it, puts it on the actual table, and then kind of like barks and then disappears essentially. From this, and you have this sort of missive as you go ahead. Do you open it up here?
Yeah, I wanted
Okay.
to say, I think when Saudi had their like breakdown after that encounter with their parent, I think even though Maeve didn't hear like most of the worst of it, I think she still had just like sort of painfully knelt down next to her and just sort of like sat there with her until she like got her composure enough to like move from the space, just not say anything but just like being there. And I think yeah, we're all sort of probably just like kind of quiet and like recovering from that sort of like emotionally taxing thing. And I think as soon as that letter lands on the table, Maeve is snatching it and opening it immediately, like everything else in the world forgotten. Just like as fast as she can, she's getting that letter open.
Sure. You do so as you get this missive. You open it up. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I have a few siblings.
Perfect. We're gonna say the middle child of your siblings. This little boy by the name of like Toby and all that kind of stuff. A light blue skinned Oni with like the smallest horn you've ever seen, but still like the biggest heart and all that kind of stuff. As he ends up like writing you essentially, which is very odd because usually it should be like someone who is a like older. And it goes like, hey, Maeve, I hope you're doing well. Like, we're so excited you became an Emerald Templar, and we're so excited to hear that you're okay. Like, it's crazy here. There's a lot of like, trees, forests. There's a lot of damage all around our community. But we're getting through it. It seems to be like, we're definitely doing good. But definitely just focus on yourself and make sure you get through everything, and visit whenever you can. As he sort of writes. Now, go ahead and do a notice and awareness sort of check.
Oh, it didn't roll well.
And if you have investigator or anything like that that you feel like might apply for your trade skills, you can add that. You also have the 10% bonus for your intro.
I might use some of that because I rolled 20, and awareness I have 6. It's 26. And then if I use my 10% for my intro, that's 36.
36, sure. That will be a success.
Okay.
At least a full success. So as you go ahead and use, all of this stuff, you review it, and at first, it like a wave of comfort that like I got a response. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's from my, it's from my brother. That's awesome. And then you're like, why didn't my, parents write me back? Why didn't like anyone else, sort of write me back? It should have gone to the head of the household, like someone who is sort of like responsible and all that kind of stuff. And you kind of look over this, and you feel in the pit of your stomach that something is going on at your household. Like something's sort of like wrong. Like they must be going through it to the fact that someone older didn't respond, but your like 7-year-old brother did respond essentially. But at this moment, there's nothing you can do to like help them right now. You could send over money, you could do whatever, to try to ease their, whatever they're going through. But at this time, you just can't do anything due to, just proximity essentially. And then, so if you want to like write back, you can, go and do like a reply and all that kind of stuff. Or whatever you like to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would write back, and I think I would just try to be as reassuring as possible, like make sure that they're not worried about me, and I think I would ask for like my parents or like my older siblings, like specifically, like I would ask more specific questions to try and see if I could get more information. But I think I would word it in a way that's very like, you're doing so great, Toby. Like, don't even worry about it. It's very exciting being an Emerald Templar. I can't wait to show you my pin and stuff like that. So I'll do a lot of like reassurances, to try and make sure he feels safe, and then just sort of like throw in some questions. Would really love to hear from mom and dad.
Yeah,
like,
specifically,
like,
how is every family member doing?
Yeah, like, how are you, like, what's everyone doing to help? Like, how's the shop? Like, just like a more even kind of composed message, since she knows it might not be going to her older family, and she's like quite worried at this point.
Okay, you were gonna gain 5 anxiety from like noticing this, that something is definitely
So
wrong. Yeah, exactly. So you notice that something's up here, but you're trying to keep composed. Be an older. Would you say you're the eldest child, or are you?
Yeah, I would say Maeve is the eldest. She was the oldest and had the most pressure first, and was the first fuck up. So.
Perfect.
That's kind of her whole vibe.
Amazing. So that's
off.
good. And then you send it over. They end up going to be able to it's off essentially to your family. So for you, Harmony, there is something that you noticed really quick while you're sort of in this tavern eating your chicken fingers and like ranch or whatever other or whatever other things that if you want to make food, then you can do so, but and all that. But in this time, as you're doing your own things, maybe an hour or two have passed since Saudi got here. They've gotten themselves sort of together. You guys are focused on the mission at hand, that in just like a couple hours, you're going to have to go out and meet Besma to go into the night through this forest and find this Temple of Nightshade and deal with whatever's going on there. So you guys are getting yourselves sort of together and, fixing up your affairs and all that. Maybe as you're like exiting this tavern and doing your own thing, that's when you sort of notice that at the gates is a very small child. It's going to be like a little like centaur essentially. Can't be more than like 10 summers old essentially. As they are sort of there and they're just waiting with a little stuffed doll and just kind of just looking at the gates and just like and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I think Harmony, while giving people bean buns to go along with their chicken. Whatever else they're eating. Just like, oh, that's really good. Try this. Also good. And then would definitely hand the little kid a bean bun.
Sure. So maybe it's a situation where, as you're sort of doing this in the tavern, you look out the window and see this small child waiting at the gates, and decide to, like, take a moment for your companions, walk out to the gates, and hand it to them. So you're gonna get a permanent 10% bonus to whatever you do with this child, like to talk with them and all that kind of stuff, because they look to you. You've broken their sort of trance, and and everything. As you see that they've been sniffling, they've been crying for quite a bit as they've been like looking out into these gates, and they look to you and see that they're the bean bun, and immediately you hear their stomach growl as they like take this, and they go like, thank you, as they kind of like eat it and just look back at the gates. Anything you'd like to do or say?
I would ask them why they're crying. What makes them sad?
Sure. Go to do an influence and charm. As at first they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I just have allergies, as they like immediately try to wipe their face and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, but just chopping onions.
B3.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I have to roll again?
So, oh, you're good. So you're gonna roll your d10 or d100, and then after you do that, you're gonna look to your bonuses that you have for your influence and charm. And again, you have a 10% bonus on top of everything because you gave them a food. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a 40, which is a 50.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have influencer.
Oh, you got that as well if you want to. Yeah.
2. So I have 2 in there. And then 6 in influence.
So it's 8, and then your charm.
Charm is 4.
4. Okay, so 12. So that's So you're good at talking, essentially. That's awesome. So with that 12% to 50, so that's 62%. So with that 62%, you penetrate their defenses, as you see that they were like the whatever frail sort of defenses there are here, as they go like, I just have allergies, and you're like, what's going on, why are you crying and everything, and then they just immediately break and they start like weeping, and they go like, my mommy was gone, and like she hasn't come back yet, so my other mommy was gonna go and like find her, and she hasn't come back yet either, and I don't know, like, it's been a lot of hours, and I don't know if she's okay or if she's like what have you, and I don't know if I should go out there. The guards told me not to, but like I don't want her to get hurt, or either of them to get hurt and everything. And she's just kind of like, yeah, you can see that in their hands they have a sharpened stick. It is just a stick that they have manually sharpened to use as a weapon, that they were going to like go out there and do whatever they feel like might be necessary to find their parents.
And I think Harmony, like, in the middle of the stream of stuff coming out of their mouth, sees the stick, and they're like, much confidence that they have, like, with this like stick is gonna do something, and Harmony just kind of like just starts thinking about the innocence of children, and just lets out like this bellowing laugh from like the deepness of her belly, just completely unhinged probably to this child, and it's just like, oh, you poor sweet thing, that stick isn't gonna do you any good anyway. Here, have another bean bun. Clearly you need some more energy if you're gonna
Oh, they take it and devour it immediately. Yeah.
looking for maybe you could use some help, and let's start with getting you a proper weapon. And
You want a crossbow? Let's do that. Let's give you
No,
a
that
yeah.
child needs a Nintendo Switch, not a stick.
Harmony starts like looking around and kind of like, can I find like a rock maybe, and then like pulls out some rope out of their bag and starts tying this rock around the stick, and is kind of like goes into, well, if you're gonna have a stick and you don't have any money to, may as well add a hard rock to that, and just starts like explaining how to like tie the stuff.
Sure, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and do another check really quick. So roll your d10 or d100, and then add 12% to it, along with I guess 22%.
We also decided that Harmony would have the rings that we got last time. So I don't know what those do, but I remember you mentioned they were charm related.
Oh yes, yeah. They
I think you just wrote gold rings in the chat, so I'm not sure what bonus it would be, but I remember your charm. So just so you know.
yes. Let me check ring. Oh my god.
Although she might not need any other bonuses. Pretty well.
She.
Is.
Okay, and I will get that information up in just a second.
20.
20. Okay, so 42%, essentially is what you get.
Our faces are covered by your book, by the way.
Oh, my bad. I forget that this monitor is like specifically for. Let me go ahead and get to items, and then that was.
Got that kind of old lady charm where she could be caught red-handed in the middle of like burglarizing a building or something, and the guards would be like, "Oh, she's so sweet. Just go ahead."
I love a little
2%.
abuela who's like, hey, you know what? You have a stick. You know what I'm going to give you? A knife.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
literally.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you need is to learn how to do this properly.
Yeah, right.
In my day, we had actual war.
Oh my, yeah, right there you go. So it'll be if you have the golden rings, then that means you have a 2% bonus to your charm while you wear those, because they're very ornate. They like look sort of good and everything.
Ooh.
Just like any of those grandmas like rolling around in their jewelry and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Too
like
many
a
big
ring pop?
rings.
if you want
too many
to,
big rings on too many fingers, so that like the rings, your fingers don't even touch. They're just like
Yeah. It's caught
Exactly.
creating
Around.
extra space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, you're able to succeed in talking with this small child, as they are excited by what you're doing. Like, yeah, that's gonna do so much damage. I can take on like so many things with it. As they're like getting super excited, they're like trotting a little bit as they're getting super like maybe even like galloping around you and all that kind of stuff. And they go like, "You're an Emerald Templar. Like, do you know how to fight? Like, have you slain a lot of cool things?"
And then Harmony lets out the deep bellowy laugh again, and is so like, "Oh, you small, you don't always have to slay things to get your enemy to do what you need it to do. Sometimes there are things worse than death."
They're like,
But
"Oh."
anyway, here's how. Here, you have a good weapon, and I would take some extra rocks with you. Would you like? You could throw them at people. Just don't tell them anybody that I said that. Do you need some assistance, perhaps?
And she goes, "What? I mean, like, I don't want to bother you because you're probably doing really important stuff." And I just, as she looks out to the gates, and it's nighttime now, and there is the forest that's there with the, you don't know what is all in there and everything like that. And it is at this time that she's like considering it, and she goes like, "I think I can do it. I think I just stab with the pointy end and then like throw until things stop moving. I think that'll be fine." And I'm like, but as you're here with her, kind of comforting her, and she's feeling better about everything, you do see that there's two silhouettes that emerge from the sort of forest as these two women that are battered and sort of like bruised, bleeding, but holding one another as they're limping their way in, and they're two centaurs essentially. As this little girl just kind of drops her rocks and her spear and everything that you just gave her and everything, and runs over and just like cries as she embraces her parents as they like are there, and they're like it's good to see you. Like, oh my gosh, like don't even worry, my little sunshine, you're gonna be everything's gonna be fine. Like, we're gonna go get chicken tenders and we're gonna have a good time. As like and it goes like she goes, this woman just showed me how to like defend myself. I was gonna go in there and then slay a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't know what's there, like bears or something. I don't know what's in the forest. As she goes and shows the rock. Now, do you stay to like for them to come over to you, or do you like leave while they have happily embraced?
I feel like Harmony would give them a minute and then walk over and ask them if they were okay, and if they needed anything, and hand them some red bean buns from.
You just have like an endless supply of like. Perfect.
It's like a bag of holding, but it's pocket size, and it can only contain red beans.
Exactly. You're
It's
just
the
like
magic of my ancestors.
yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I don't question it. I don't question it.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Your patron saint of yeah. And then,
Yeah.
so.
So yeah, I would just say that she would hand them some red bean buns and maybe a couple extra, like just start throwing them in pockets if there are pockets available, or satchels or whatever. Not asking, just putting some in there. And then after they kind of have a minute, Harmony would ask them if they were okay. They needed anything besides food. They look a little battered up.
Yeah, and they thank you. Is like, have you been looking over our daughter, like in this time?
I mean,
as-
she was just standing here crying.
And then she's like, she did. She was here the whole time. She's my best friend. As she like grabs your hand and then
Okay now.
holds your
okay,
pinky.
okay.
And then they go like, thank you so much for like looking after her. I didn't want to abandon her, but I needed to find my wife. Like I needed to like and you see that one of them is a actual like guard of Nazria who knows how to fight and had actual armor and everything like that, but still they took damage and all that. And the wife just seemed to be like a merchant traveler and all that kind of stuff. It's like, we can't thank you enough. We're gonna be fine. Like, and thank you so much for comforting my daughter in these trying times, because we have no one else here but each other. So, thank you, Templar, for everything you've done. As she looks up to you with her eyes bright, and she specifically looks at your skull and like crown, sort of emblem of the Emerald Templars, and gets like super inspired by you and your presence and everything like that, and then just kind of holds both of her mother's hands as she like doesn't stop looking back at you, and they just chat about everything as she starts being like, did you kill cool beasts out there, and like, what happened, and then they just like talk about whatever. And then Mateo, is there anything you do before this night ends and goes to your mission, essentially?
I think he just would have spent the time giving Sadi supports after that. Also, kind of just sitting in silence, as he doesn't really have anything else to do in the city. In the meanwhile, he's already visited the Temple to Amun-Ra, so that's kind of his usual like requirement when he's visiting.
And they're all jealous and bitter of you because you got blessed by your literal god.
He can never go there again.
Yeah, exactly. And then, okay, so why don't you? Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he spent his time with Sadi.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and do a influence and charm check to Sadi to try to comfort them in this time. Now, Sadi obviously has anxiety from like everything that occurred. There's no way that anyone could not, after like breaking up with their parent essentially and like distancing themselves from them and all that.
Yeah, I want to let everybody know. I have both names on the character sheet, and I did cross out the second one. I just want you to know.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. It's really over.
My heart.
Oh, I did want to mention while you do roll that the last thing I think Sadi would have done before leaving the room that they did. I imagine that the piece of like jewelry or something that they had was probably like a pendant or an amulet or something that they were wearing. They probably ripped it off and left it on the table.
Up to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So they probably would have done that before they left the Sultan's presence. So they don't have that.
In this case, can he use his therapist skill to
Absolutely,
alleviate that 10 anxiety? So yeah, he would have spent his time then sitting there, listening to Sadi if they had anything to say, and sort of consoling them. As such, he doesn't offer any advice because it's probably too soon for that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there listening and consoling.
Sure. So normally Saudi would have probably had 16 anxiety that they would have taken. So, and then
Cool.
what was your roll for like what was the total?
It was, you said charm and daunt, right?
Uh,
Charm and influence, right?
yeah, influence, charm, and then your therapist skill. Yeah.
It did
Uh,
pass. My anxiety did go past the 50% threshold then, at some point during that conversation, or like immediately after.
Which is fair. Which is yeah.
That
that's
happens.
just
That'll
a 10.
happen.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. And I'm sorry, Mateo. What'd you say?
That's just a 10.
Oh, just 10 flat.
Yep.
Okay.
I
So.
rolled a 0.
Oh no. So,
No.
I mean,
Ah.
it could be a situation
Okay,
where like,
it's fresh.
yeah, maybe you
He's
still have,
still kind of like, he's still feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
From yesterday.
That's what I was gonna say.
Literally, that
Because
was
he hasn't done
yesterday.
therapy for himself.
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
why
He
you're
feels
blocked.
He feels like a bit of a hypocrite in like helping others, trying to help others when he was sort of not called out but called in point blank previously, and so like there's a weird energy he's sort of
Little
emanating
awkward.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
That's
I
fair.
think also that Sadi probably like can see what what you're trying to do, and does kind of like there's a little bit of not the they don't maybe open up as much because they know exactly what happened exactly what happened last night, but like they literally just talk to you about like, hey, you need to open up more and be more real with your own self, and when you're feeling bad you need to say something so we can help you, and then you're trying to do literally the same thing, and Sadi's like, now hang on. in their mind they're like, hang on now.
Yeah. But
So maybe it just doesn't resonate as deeply also, like from both sides.
yeah. The attempt was there, but it didn't have the effect. You still gain that 16 anxiety as you are just wrecked with emotions, but you know that you have to carry on. You have to, show up for these people. And one by one, you all convene by the gates, essentially, which was your rendezvous point. As you do see Besma there.
Maeve has something.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I had a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Would I have had time to seek out a doctor for Maeve's back? Or
Sure, yeah.
Did we only have like a short
You had probably
period of
like
time?
you probably got there at maybe like 10 a.m. and you were gonna all meet up at like 8 p.m. So you had like essentially the whole day to do whatever you wanted to. So meeting at a medic, is totally cool.
Okay, I think the letter was and being there for the Sadi's conversation. So I think maybe while Mateo and Sadi are sort of like attempting to console each other, that's when Maeve is gone, trying to
Which that's
not be,
yeah. Okay.
trying to take care of herself a little bit.
So this is a major city-state, meaning that they have some pretty good medics that are here in the thing. However, they do require payment for their sort of services. So there's different, sort of tiers. So if you need the more affordable option, you can get with the affordable option. It may not have the best impact, but how it works is that it's either like one check over, I think it is like 80% or something like that, will get you like back to normal. Otherwise, it'll take like 2 or 3 sessions, regardless of what they roll, to get you back in this trauma, like sort of off of your plate, essentially. So for the most expensive one, it's going to be about like 30 monies to be able to do that. For the next tier down, 20, and then the most affordable option is about 10, depending on what you sort of want. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because all the money we have, like, I think Maeve has sort of been thinking about it as split equally, so I think she would probably take the cheapest option. Also, she's just used to always taking the cheapest option. Like,
relatable.
anytime she's anywhere,
Yeah.
she's like, I could probably do most of this myself. I just need to go like one time and then I'll figure it out. Like,
Perfect.
so I think she'll do the 10 monies option.
Okay, that works. So they're gonna go ahead and roll. All right, and okay, good. It does
She
not.
doesn't want to use a lot of the party funds. She feels like she doesn't want to take more than her fair share.
So the medic is there with you right now, and it is this like very elder goblin, essentially, with like very large, Coke bottle glasses that like increase the size of their pupils by like 3 times, and everything, and goes, all right, well, you really messed yourself up, in this whatever conflict. Like, you Templars, like, just go ahead and protect the community and all that kind of stuff, but you got to take more caution because you're not built to take hits, essentially, as he goes like, otherwise you're gonna end up like him, as he gestures to your sort of undead companion, and goes like, but I've seen this injury before, I know how to fix it. However, I'm going to need a piece of equipment that is a little bit more expensive. So if you want to like go for that, I could probably fix this right now. But if you can't afford it, then we can go ahead and just go without it. But it's not going to completely alleviate your situation here. Meaning, so game-wise, they got a 70%. And they only need 10% more in order to get rid of this trauma for you. So in order to get to that, you're gonna need to spend 10 additional monies. And to make it super easy, game-wise, we can say that you're the banker of the party, and like probably have all the funds. And if you need something, you guys can just sort of distribute it. So if you want to, you can just pull these funds from the party and then like talk to them later or what have you, if you want to. Otherwise, you can always barter and try to give items that you guys don't need to be able to pay this, whatever way you want to handle it.
Yeah, I think Maeve would take 5 more monies and try to, she had cloth armor before she got this new armor, and so I think she would try to like barter a little bit or offer to make him potions since she has some training.
Sure.
So offer to spend the rest of the afternoon basically with him making potions, or like if he needs that.
Like trading skills. Okay, good. That's something.
Yeah, like so, either trading, like offer 5 money and armor, or also trading skills if that's not enough.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and do an influence and charm check to see if you can convince him to like do this. So like, I'm a skilled alchemist. I could definitely help you out here. Yeah. And you're gonna need 30% or higher for this.
Didn't roll super great, but I have vices.
You do.
Vices. Okay, so I rolled 10, and then I have 4 in influence, so that's 14.
14.
How much do
Yep.
I need? 30?
30. Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it. Even if I use a vice.
Did you already use your 10% bonus for your intro?
I did.
Oh, you
I
did already?
used it
Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to sacrifice theirs, you can go ahead and give it over to
You
Maeve.
can take mine.
Yeah.
Take mine.
Well,
you
could
can
I
take
just
mine,
get a worse deal? I don't want to take anyone else's. Like maybe I do both, like or I don't know.
It's
Take it.
okay.
Take it.
So we're gonna
Take
take.
it. It's in your pocket. Wow, it's
Yeah,
there. Wow. How did it get there?
Oh my
I
god,
don't
that's
know.
so crazy. How did I
Yeah,
get there?
he's like, he's thinking about it, and you're like, I have this cloth, I have this stuff, I can work for you today. I just really need this because we have a mission and da da da. And he kind of thinks about it. He doesn't seem convinced, and then suddenly, thanks to this magical sort of force and everything like that, he goes like, you know what? You caught me on a good day. It's in these situations we need to help each other out. So sure, I'll take up your offer and I'll get this taken care of for you. So with that, you're going to recover 25 physical stress, and then your like slip disc is going to be like taken care of as he uses vapor rub, and like he uses chiropractic and all that kind of stuff.
Viva
And,
Boru.
exactly, and then is able to fix you right up, and it hurts, and it like is definitely very painful, but at the same time you come out of it like, and you're able to walk normally, you walk straight and all that kind of stuff, and everything's good on that front. And you spend the day. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and do this one. You do take 11 exhaustion from you making potions, just like and helping him out for this. But you do right by him. He does right by you, and you are solid for this. And now, with an hour left, we will begin our journey, like out of these gates.
Hold on, I've got
I'm
a salted
sorry,
divine
D'Angelo.
first.
Exactly. No, you're fine. You're good. You're good. You're good. I
No.
love these like moments and everything, so it's like totally fine.
No, Sadi's was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Okay, so as you all convene, and get to the gates. You see Besma in her gear, as she's had like a change of clothes and everything like that, and is in leather armor. She has a short bow on her. She has a quiver with arrows. She also has a guitar on her, which is like this bladed sort of like weapon and everything. And she looks to you guys and goes like, "All right, if you guys are good to go, then we should head out immediately. That way we can, get to there as fast as possible." And she looks healthy. Like she is still bandaged and everything like that, but she's done some stuff to make sure that she is as put together as possible. At this time, you guys all like one by one begin to head out and leave as the darkness of the forest envelops you. As you hear all manners of like noises and see creatures move in the distance and all that kind of stuff. And as you guys are heading through,
Do we have to fix this? Because this is pretty.
Is
Is it okay if we leave this alone?
yeah, right. You're like,
Really?
Just this
Just
specific
this
part?
one? Just this
Yeah.
one? Like, I know it maybe was supposed to be a vast desert or like a crumbling mesa, but like
He
this
hates
is
it.
nice.
yeah, you're like this is nice.
Babe hates it. She's like, this is wrong.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
sand.
Use like blight on one of the trees just to watch it like wither. So
Get out of here.
So at this time, you guys are getting through here, and it's mostly quiet and it's mostly undisturbed. But as you get further and further in, she holds up a hand for you guys to all stop, and one by one, you do end up stopping and convene with her. And she goes like, "There's things up ahead, and I don't quite know what they are. So we should probably proceed with caution or violence, whichever you guys prefer." As you look over, you see there's 3 silhouettes, one of which is vastly shorter than the other 2. And these things don't look quite right. Like they look humanoid, or at least creatures that you can recognize, but also with a little bit of a twist. So if you'd like to, you can go ahead and roll a awareness notice check to see what's going on here. Alternatively, you could simply proceed forward with stealth or brutal violence. Yeah.
I would like to do an awareness.
Yes, same here. I got a 76 for awareness.
Okay, good.
Can I add a cultist to this? Because if they don't look quite right, like there's a little bit of me that's like,
Ooh.
maybe this is weird.
Yeah,
Getting
go
that
for it.
vibe? Okay. 30.
30? Okay. Perfect. And then anyone else do any checks at all? Or are you just waiting to see what your companions sort of see?
Can I roll a notice check?
Absolutely, yeah. So you're going to do your awareness and notice, and you're going to roll your D10 or D100 to see what that base is. And then the awareness notice, you're going to add it to your, total.
So 20 plus 4 is my awareness,
Mhm.
and 10 is my notice, and then I have a plus 2
So we have
for
30.
brothel.
Okay, so 34, 36. With a 36 to this, and also the 70, you guys notice that there is a small creature that seems to look like a sort of pixie or sort of fairy, like sickly sweet in appearance, as with a very large sort of grin and giggling and smiling, as sort of like this magical dust is emanating sort of from them, as they seem to be sprinkling something on these 2 creatures. Now, the creatures that you see on the ground are corpses, as they're just like dead, killed by whatever was in this forest. And you see that there are flowers that are blooming sort of from them, taking hold of them and everything like that, and ultimately causing them to become like meat puppets, essentially, as they like rise up in a weird form of necromancy and nature, as they're just simply like thralls. As she speaks in a language you guys don't quite understand, and they seem to just like growl and sort of like are feral, as they are still like rising, essentially, so they're not completely up yet, but you can definitely tell from the here that they're going to be malicious if you try to engage with them. Now, this creature that seems to be a pixie of some sort seems to be intelligent, not speaking your language, but that might just be because of the enchantments or the spellcasting that they're doing, or what have you. So yeah, you can decide to engage with diplomacy, avoid with stealth, or engage with violence. Yeah.
I think.
And I will tell you, with your guys' roles, before with notice and everything, that these are not the only creatures that are here in this sort of like forest. You definitely see that down a ways there are more that are sort of like around here. And during the day, you did not see these things, so they might be nocturnal or some other answer or anything. Yeah.
And we know that these things should not be here and that they are causing harm.
Correct. Yeah, it is definitely like a weird form of necromancy and nature magic, as it's essentially taking these beautiful flowers and spawning it. So it kind of almost looks like a twisted form of the Risen. Essentially, yeah.
Then Mateo is going to sort of, as they're sort of like, well, they still have, I guess, their stealth, since I imagine that haven't been noticed just yet. He's going to quietly say to the others, we cannot allow these things to continue as they are. We don't know what they're doing, how further they will go if we allow them to stay.
Interesting reaction.
And she's like eating a bean bun and then like just looking at everything. And then so Besma does like lean into you guys and goes like, I'm down for whatever you guys want to do, but we still have a bit of a journey to get to the temple. But I mean, you're right, like these things have already apparently killed people traveling through the forest trying to get to civilization. So I'm down for whatever you want to do. As she takes out her short bow and like has an arrow at the ready just in case you guys want to move in. Yeah.
I think Sadi would, in response to what Bezna just said, would say, do you think there's a chance that these other magic people who you saw would be gone by the time that if we stopped?
And she tells you like, now for Besma, you can see that she is very headstrong and very confident in herself. Maybe it borders on overconfidence or like foolhardiness, but she goes like, nah, the way that they set up their camps, it looks like they were going to be there for a while. They brought supplies, there were crates with like resources in them. They wouldn't have done that unless they were going to stay there for a good while. So I am pretty sure they're still there. I don't know for how long, but I bet you, I bet my horns on it, as she kind of like tells you.
I don't think Sadi like 100% believes it, but Sadi does believe that she believes it. So
yeah, I think Maeve will sort of turn to Sadi and say, I mean, I think honestly I'm not great at sneaking, so we might have to fight them either way. So it might be better to at least get the jump on them.
And ultimately, you guys look to your ranking officer, Harmony, for guidance on how to proceed forward. So Harmony, you have ultimate say on how you would like to deal with the situation, to force everyone to stealth or to force everyone to fight. Yeah. Or diplomacy, if you like to.
I think Harmony would say it kind of looks like we have a little bit of time. Have we tried? No. Maybe talking to them?
You'll exchange uneasy glances as you consider the situation, but she's your ranking officer. Would you like to go out and talk with them, or would you like to send someone else to go, or yeah?
I think Harmony feels that they will need distractions if they are to be sneaky, and that everybody everybody or fight, and everybody. Harmony doesn't want to like make the decision for them because she wants them to own the decisions that they make. So, I guess Harmony will look at you all and say, "Well, it's your decision whether you want to fight or sneak. But either way, we're gonna need some type of distraction, just in case."
I'm more than happy to seek a non-combative approach. I'm merely concerned that after our encounter yesterday, that there is little room for discussion with whatever these things are.
Valid. Okay, here's what I have about 5 bean buns in my hand.
Saving the world, one bean.
I know, yeah. You're like,
I'm going to cause a distraction by tossing the bean buns over there. And then we are going to go this way. But be prepared to fight at any moment. Make sure you're sneaky. Those bean buns are good, but they do not last long.
perfect.
Sandy shares a glance with Maeve, both of them very not sneaky.
Very not sneaky, but we'll try. We'll do our best.
So, okay. So if I heard you guys correctly, is it you're gonna throw a bean bun to distract it, and then you guys are gonna go at that point, or is
We're gonna try to stealth away from it and just be on the lookout and ready to fight.
Yeah,
if
be
we
ready
have
to
to.
fight.
if
Yeah,
needed?
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
But stealth.
Okay, good.
Stealth as we can be.
Yeah. And then, Mateo, were you gonna go out and talk with them, or no? Or are you gonna sit with
No. He's
Okay.
following the plan that they're setting.
Gotcha. Okay, so if you want to throw the bean bun, you can go ahead and make a ranged attack, which is your agility in your fight, with this bean bun. Why'd you get a critical hit?
Got an 80.
Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, so with an 80, you end up throwing it, and it goes straight into one of the bushiest bushes that are around as it rattles and shakes and all that kind of stuff. And immediately, they are sort of alerted to this, and they're like, oh my god, what was that? As the pixie says, as they immediately go and try to investigate sort of what's going on, as these thralls awkwardly sort of zombie rush over and kind of swipe at the actual bush, giving you guys some time to be able to bypass them if you'd like to. So you're all still gonna have to roll stealth, but all of you get a 10% bonus to your roll. So agility and nimble is what you're gonna roll. If you have criminal or whatever other things you can
Yes,
vouch.
Mateo has criminal.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Plot twist.
Oh yeah, there you go. Da-da-da. Yeah.
Do you?
Um,
Is it a
Yeah,
joke?
is that for
That
reals?
was
Or
a
is
joke,
that...
that was a joke.
Okay, I was about to be like,
Maeve rolled a 0.
A 0. Nice. We love it. Mm-hmm.
But
okay, I rolled a
add
10.
2.
Okay, so
I rolled a 10, and I add nothing except for the whatever bonus we get.
10%. Yeah, 10% increase. Okay, so 34. You're good. You need 30% or higher to succeed in this. And then Harmony.
Trying to confuse my rolls. What do I add?
You're gonna do your agility and nimble, and if you have anything that you can vouch for it for trade skills like criminal or anything like that, then you can add those. But if not, then just agility and nimble.
I'm an old lady. What do you mean agility and nimble?
The
This was your plan.
I'm just saying.
the creaking of your knees is just echoes throughout the forest.
Wait. Can I hold on? Hold on. Can I use my pride?
Sure. Yeah, you can use vices if you want to.
How does that work?
So how vices work is that you're going to see a percentage in there, and whatever that percentage is, you're going to add that to whatever you're trying to do. So, but at the same time, yeah, you're going to also take that in either anger or anxiety, whichever you feel would apply in the situation.
Anger.
So anger, that's fine, yeah. So and again, you need 30%. So there are partial successes where you get 10% less than what you needed. So if you at least get a 20%, that means that you like get a partial success. If you get more than like 11% less than what you needed, then that is a complete failure. And
I will use my pride then to bump my 0 to 12 from the 10% that we got from the bean buns, 2 from my agility, 8 from pride to get a partial success.
Oh man!
Yes.
Also put that
Yes.
We're
Okay.
gonna do partial successes all the way, baby.
Use all your vices. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So if I roll the 20, I'm okay, but like I want
A full success.
I
Yeah.
want a full success. Can I use influencer to add 2 to that 20 to make it 22, and then the pride because the influencing is technically masking, and then the pride makes Harmony put on the mask of being stealthier than they actually are.
Sure.
Because they're prideful. Okay, cool.
So, what that means, anyone who got a full success, if you guys get caught, then they're all gonna get surprise rounds essentially to be able to just dunk on these like enemies. Anyone who got a partial success do not get to participate in that surprise round, essentially. So they're gonna go ahead and roll as this pixie is not convinced. Like, there's someone going on here. As they kind of look around, and they end up getting a 40%. So as they clock, and who is the lowest? Probably Maeve, right?
I got 20.
Yeah.
You got 20.
I got exactly 20 as well, so
I
we're
also
tied.
got 20.
You guys
so
both
we-
got yeah. So perfect. Maybe at the same time, your guys' robes like caught in something, and she kind of like looks over, and they're like something's over there, as she immediately like does an enchantment and throws a like spell over to try to attack. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and do so even is going to be Sadi and odd is going to be Maeve. So this is even. So they're going to throw a spell and get a 70% on your defense value. I don't know why I'm waiting for your response. I know it's going to hit.
Look
so-
out.
Are you going to do that? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna look out. Mateo's gonna sort of like swing over and interpose his body between Sadi and this spell.
So I will tell you right now, this was a haphazard shot in the dark, being like, I think something's over there. I'm gonna shoot that bush and see, if it is something. So if you do use lookout, it's gonna alert and break
okay.
the stealth,
Mhm.
and so you could let Sadi just take the hit and hope nothing
not
else
gonna take
comes,
one.
and then go,
Six.
yeah. And if you'd like to, otherwise you can be like,
But would Mateo do that?
yeah, you'd be like, caw, and then just like.
Okay, actually, question.
Uh-huh.
Since I guess they are sort of relatively hidden, would Mateo know? I guess Mateo wouldn't know that Sadi is being shot at. So actually, you know what? Never mind. He wouldn't do that because I don't think he'd be aware.
You had a full
this
success, so you would know. Yeah.
Oh,
you
okay.
you were able to see and clock this whole situation and understand the circumstance that you could do this, but if you do, it'll automatically engage you guys in combat, and maybe this like slight sacrifice will allow you guys to bypass the entire thing, and you can make it up to her later or whatever. And you can see what happens for the damage too. It's just casual like 30. I'm just kidding. It is 4 points physical. As magic just like flies through and hits you, and it smells like cinnamon. As
See, I love the smell of cinnamon.
and then there's a bit of waiting. And goes like, must have been the wind. As they go back to going to the next bit of corpses and raising them and all that kind of stuff. You have bypassed this group. And as you essentially move forward, there is another group that you can see that it's up there doing the same thing. So you're going to need to roll stealth checks once again. If you want to do the red bean bun trick, you can do so. And I'm going to put a limit. You're going to have 10 more bean buns. And then you're going to have to start using materials to make them. Yeah. So you can throw another bean bun, or you can go ahead and just do stealth checks, whichever you want to do.
I'm gonna throw another bean bun.
The hardest
Sure.
decision in this entire
Yes.
campaign.
You know, yeah, you make sure
A
in your
true
ammo
sacrifice.
section you have like 10 out of 10, and then erase it and put 9 out of 10.
I got a 90.
90. Okay, that's critical success. Once again, you all get 10% bonuses to your stealth checks. Better than pass without trace. And then, yeah. So go ahead and roll your stealth, which is your agility and
Okay.
nimble.
104 with the bean
Rolled
bun.
better. Goodness. I got 62 because I rolled 60.
Full success. Oof. These dice are not.
I got a 10.
Well, if you rolled 60, then you got a 72.
Oh yeah,
So-
because the plus 10%,
Yep.
so 72.
So you got a 20%. So that means you have partial success. So you already have gone through this. If you want to push yourself, you can try to get a full success, or just leave it be.
I'm
Which
gonna leave it be and just hope no one noticed.
okay. And Besma gets a 70, so you're good. And then Maeve, you're also good. Mateo, you're super good. Leading the charge for everyone. And then Sadi, what'd you get?
60.
Oh yeah, you're totally fine. And then Harmony's like struggling a little bit, but like huffing and puffing. But at the same time, you guys none the wiser, essentially. As actually, sorry, yes, the wiser. Because once again, like, what was that? And then ends up looking, just shooting in the direction of Harmony. Ends up getting a 70% on your defense value.
What does that mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. So they ended up getting 70, and then you're on your character sheet. You're gonna look to your defense value, which is on the right side of your sheet.
Okay, it's 32.
32. Okay, yeah. So they do succeed with the crit. So that's gonna be 16 points of damage, as is physical. So they go out and Kamehameha, like fire off pixie dust towards you. Overwhelming smell of cinnamon as it gets in your eyes, in your nose, in your mouth, and everything like that. And they wait. So if you want to, Mateo, you can take this, or you can leave it be. Because once again, if you take it, you guys get into combat, or you can just let it be and then pass on from this. And yeah, so at this time, you take the 16 physical from this, and then you wait, and must have been the wind, as they go back and continue raising bodies and all that kind of stuff. And you all succeed in getting past this sort of area. So, great, wonderful, cool. Not as beautiful, but at the same
Oh
time,
no.
you see. Just ignore the blood. It's fine. Actually,
okay.
Mateo, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
So,
don't know if I can just ignore the blood.
so
The DM said to do it. I feel fine ignoring the blood. So long as the DM says it's okay.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So, at this time, you guys emerge from this stuff, and you can see that for any of you who have been in Wasia, you can definitely remember these ruins, as they have been here for quite a long time. They were built by an older civilization and all that kind of stuff. It seemed to have been a part of another, city-state, defensible walls, what have you, and all that kind of stuff. Now it actually serves as a dam, essentially, as there is actual water flowing through this area. There's tons of, forests and trees and everything like that. And there's been, crude, cracks that's come from time and everything, as now water sort of flows through it. As you're, elevated probably about 70-80 feet above the water here, as you kind of travel through, and Besma is right next to Mateo, as he goes we're just gonna be able to bypass this, and we're gonna get to where the sort of camp is. But she once again holds out her hands and all that kind of stuff. And because as Onis, you guys are able to see in the dark for a bit of time, and she uses she burns as much exhaustion as she can to make sure she can guide you guys properly. And she goes, wait, there's something up there, as she tells you to be quiet. And in the distance, you see that there's silhouettes of these people, and they're taking their blades out of these people. One of them was still alive, and then finally dying, as you hear their death rattle. And they're easy kills, easy money, as they're just pocketing them and taking their sort of stuff. And they're like, this forest was the best thing that happened to Wasia. Like, we've made so much profit right now. And they're like, right? And now they would like to. You guys can do awareness, notice checks, or anything like that at all. And then Mateo, I know you want to do something. Is there something different you want to do?
Hear this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. With being up like here, you can hear the sounds of the water flowing from below, but their voices kind of carry and sort of like as there's nothing here to be a barrier of sound. You absolutely hear along with the wind and all that. Yeah.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
What do I have to do to let me bend a spell slightly?
Go ahead and describe how you want to bend it.
Okay, so I think
Are you going to Baldur's Gate it and just like throw them off the
No, not quite. So I think Sadi knows Mateo enough, maybe slightly more potentially than Mateo knows himself, maybe enough to know that this is not gonna fly.
He's bristling.
Yeah. Literally, like maybe slightly like
your
you know the
fangs are
Ghibli
dropping
thing where, like,
in your
when someone's
eyes, yeah.
angry, their like hair
Just
starts
the-
to like rise.
Yeah. Okay, great.
That's exactly what's going on right now.
Sadi wants to get Mateo as close to these people as possible. So I want to know what you would ask me to do in order to take someone with me in my teleport spell.
Okay. We're gonna say that you have to. What is the lucidity cost for that spell?
A D10.
A D10. Okay. So we're gonna say it's gonna be 2D10 to be able to take
Okay.
another person with you. So if you wanna chance that, if you wanna do it, you can. But yeah.
Yes.
So as she.
100%.
So let me see with Besma.
Listen, I stocked up on lucidity for a reason, y'all.
Did anyone else do notice checks?
I would try.
Okay.
Actually,
I got
I'll do this. I'm
And-
not noticing. I'm doing this instead of noticing, actually.
Yes, valid. I got 66 for my notice.
Okay. 6. And then Harmony.
I got 60.
Okay, good. So both of you notice as you get a critical success that you recognize these people as Besma tells you, like they look like shady characters. I don't think we're gonna be able to get past them on this because there's only one route through here. As she kind of looks and examines the sort of area, as you see the 70-foot drop in the water and like the pathway and all that kind of stuff. Now you guys notice the emblem sort of on their tattoos and like all that sort of stuff, as it is an image of a lion, as you know that they're part of the Iron Lions, which is a criminal syndicate in this world, that they are like they have their hands in narcotics, on like black ops, sort of like mercenary groups, sell swords, all that sort of stuff. And they're some pretty gnarly individuals. They're essentially gangsters and all that. As they are full blown, just like looting all the bodies, and it seems like they've been murdering, travelers that have been trying to, get their way through here, and with success, it seems like.
I would love to raise those bodies.
Sure, if you want to,
Yes!
yeah, that's fine. And then, now, do you guys act without Harmony's
Well, I would
orders?
ask my companions first, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sadi is not waiting for Harmony at all.
You're like,
Oh, that's fine. Then I would
I
as soon
apologize
as
to
Sadi
you.
disappears, then I
My
will. That's when I
elder.
will act immediately after.
okay, so how many feet do you, and Harmony, do you give them orders before they all disperse, or kind of just like check out the scene, or just whatever?
Let them go. I mean,
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Like,
I think
kids will be
Harmony is
kids.
taking it- yeah, like it's like a like taking it as a test to like what their thought process is.
Yeah. Okay, and then how many feet do you teleport?
So I can teleport 50 feet.
Sort of like over here.
That's perfect.
Okay, good. And then you're raising bodies. Let's see here.
Yes.
So you guys.
Oh, Mateo's not gonna like that.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fine.
sorry.
You guys.
Well,
Yeah.
we're over here now.
As they're being raised, you're like, I don't like this. I don't like this. As you kind of like call out. Okay, let me go ahead and do.
Dave doesn't like the Iron Lion, so priorities.
There you go. All right.
Ah. For
okay.
some for
Yeah, they're
like 2
they're not
seconds.
big.
Yeah, for 2 seconds I was like,
Okay.
oh god, a sea monster. Oh no.
Oh, I have a rules question.
Uh-huh.
So my orb that I had before let me take one less stress than normal,
Mhm.
but I think I'm switching to the rod that I got last time.
Yeah.
Can I use them together, or I have to pick one?
You have to pick one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Then I will. I think I might stick with the orb for now.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever to reduce that lucidity output. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then okay, so at this time you guys like have surprise actions essentially. As you go ahead and one by one begin to unleash this as you like mass sort of raise skeletons as their bodies immediately get engulfed with your like violet sort of energy and magic. And it like breathes new unlife into them as they raise up to all these sort of like bandits shock and sort of horror, and immediately they hear the sounds of like cracking sort of magic as Sadi and Matteo teleport and appear sort of in front of them as they're like shit.
I think as an aside, before like teleporting, Sadi would like kind of place their hands like because they were behind you, like on either side of your arms, and would say like low to you, Matteo, would say, they won't get away with it before like going. So that you know that it's not just gonna happen.
Like, why are we here? Why did you do this? As like, yeah. So, and then Harmony, is there anything you'd like to do in this situation? Any spells or anything? Yeah.
I think Harmony would just be checking their bean bun supplies,
You have 9 out of 10. Yeah.
right? And then also just bracing themselves for whatever happens, and probably preparing for some type of battle of some sort.
Sure. Okay. And then Maeve, you did your spell, and then if you'd like to move your skeleton, you can do so.
Yeah.
Or like 30 feet. Yeah. Do you have a control? Oh, you don't have control. Okay. So let me go to move for you.
Okay. Thank you.
And then yeah, let me get your. There you go. How you doing? Okay, and then perfect. And then Besma is also going to go ahead and fire off a arrow. As I made this character sheet today, so I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
30, so it turns to 40. Yeah, that works. Okay, good. So, you guys all like just jump into action. As you do so, all these sort of things happen at once. As you guys teleport and then raise sort of the dead, and you know, Hoya, right, is your
Yes.
yeah. Hoya
Yeah,
rushes
I think so,
forward
too.
and all that kind of stuff, and then so Matteo, you have an action here, because Saudi used their action to teleport you guys over. Maeve used their action to be able to summon, you know, the skeletons and like.
Oh. Do I have a free? Can I do a free action?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna choose myself and Matteo to use Cosmic Guard, and both of our defense increases by 10.
Yes, yeah, that's secondary action, so I believe that works. And then Matteo, what would you like to do here? As you see these individuals, some of them seem wounded, as and other ones seem like pretty fresh.
And all of them are in league, right? Together. None of them are,
Yeah,
like-
with a quick glance, you can see their tattoos. Some of them are on their like cheek, and other ones are on their like chest, as they're like iron lions in Old English.
Okay. So Matteo, he had already started to walk forward when Sally sort of grabs him and then yoinks them both across this dam. And so he sort of stumbles forward a second, finds his composure, and then draws his talwar and immediately goes to sort of strike at the person in front of him with intent to disarm, as his talwar is for.
Perfect. Okay, good. So, go to roll your attack. And then, yeah. You need 30% or higher.
That is a 76.
That's a critical. All right, cool. So with a critical success, once again they are disarmed. As you saw that they have their scimitar and everything sort of out, that they just pulled out of the chest of this like dead body that's now risen and all that. And they look to you as you immediately disarm them, probably by chopping off a hand, and then go to do your damage.
That is... That is 18.
18. Okay, perfect. And oops. 18. So they immediately, as you sort of like appear, you take your talwar and just like swipe with fury and strength, as it like just disarms them in a literal sort of way, as they scream out in sort of horror as you appear, and they're like, "Holy shit, it's the Templars!" As they immediately begin to like load their crossbow and like get their sort of stuff. That's gonna be 13, I think, yeah. And in one fell swoop, you have made it very difficult for them. And yeah, so once again, you got teleported. So, and you did your attack, but you did not move. So if you'd like to, you can do another attack, or you can just leave it be with this, or do whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a sort of... Can he non-lethal... Like, they look pretty hurt. Is there... Can he non-lethally attack?
If you'd like to, yeah. So you don't want to like sever an arm. You just want to like finesse their weapon away. Or you totally can do that. Yeah.
He wants to just try to knock them out if he can.
Sure. Okay. So you do so as their weapon like falls to the side, clatters onto the ground and everything like that. As they take a step back and like are freaking out by your sort of sudden appearance, and they suddenly see the dead rise around them and all that. And then what else would you like to do?
So he's just gonna just sort of like bellow, "How dare you be the judges of life," and sort of just like elbow them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so go ahead and do your strength and your hench.
Plus the 100, right?
Plus the what?
Or the plus the D100, or just strength and edge?
Oh yeah, plus the D100. Yeah.
That is 94.
You can do whatever you like with them. If you want to throw them off of this, like, dam, you can do that with that 94.
No, he's just trying to knock them down and knock them out.
Okay, good. So that is going to be a critical success with the Valor table, and that is awesome. So go ahead and roll a D20. If you don't have a D20, I can roll it for you.
Okay. That is 18.
18. Okay. So with an 18, you seize an unexpected opportunity by destroying a piece of environment in order to create covered terrain around you, essentially. So maybe you like just crack her in the skull so hard that she like collapses sort of to the ground, and a piece of the area just so like cracks and sort of shatters as like this solid piece of stone has now splitting apart, and there's like a gap essentially.
That's great for a dam.
And everything like shudders, and you're like, wow, shit. And then okay, so you've done that as she is out at this time. And then going over to Maeve, you did not move, but you did do a spell. Do you want to...
I did move.
Or you did move. Okay, yeah. And then Besma went ahead and shot at this one right here. Dealing 5 damage. So that is the 5. There we go. And then Harmony, it goes back to you. Did you want to do anything or just go straight into combat?
I think Harmony would run into backup.
Okay.
The team, for sure.
Perfect. So you're rushing up. You take out, your items of sort of power to be able to channel your spells and everything like that. And then at this time, you guys are going to go ahead and roll your initiative. So initiative is simply going to be your, D100 plus your agility and nimble. Yeah.
I realized after I increased my awareness, I also have a 10% bonus to initiative I haven't been using. So
Perfect. There you go. Yeah.
So with that, is agility correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So with that, I got a 62.
Perfect.
I got 34.
34. Okay.
94.
Oof. Okay. And then Sadi.
Ready to go.
20.
Nice. Okay. And then Iron Lions ends up getting 70. Okay. And then Vesma ends up getting nice 100. Okay, cool. So Vesma is going to go first, as she is not she's not built for killing, but she seems to be like pretty good with a bow. As the moment that Mateo strikes at one of the Iron Lions in this sort of darkness, she can't quite tell what's going on and doesn't realize that it's being non-lethal. So she's just full blown going for it as she's trying her best to help out whatever way. So 70 and that was 50. So both of them are gonna hit, and she's going to do that works. All right, good. 2 arrows fly through the air and whistle past you guys as it embeds itself in the thick, studded sort of armor of this, warrior of a woman. This one seemed to be a rogue, sort of in leather armor and meant to be nimble and everything like that. And same with this one, but this one is decked out in gear, ready to sort of battle. And so after that, it's gonna go to Mateo.
Okay. Mateo's going to step over the person they just knocked out, sort of flourish his talwar, and strike at the next person in the line.
Sure.
He's going from one to the other to the other.
It's just knocking out everyone here.
Yeah, he's angry. This is directly against his god.
All right, go for it. For this one, you're going to need a 40% or higher.
Okay, and I can only use my vice once to bump up a number, correct?
Correct, yeah. Or use whatever effect you want to for it.
Could my skeleton have moved right here to give him a 10% bonus from flanking?
Sure, that's fine, yeah. So you get an extra 10% from that.
Okay, okay, I got a 36.
Okay.
But I'm going to use my Wrath Vice.
Sure, okay. That fits, So it goes from a partial success to a full success, I assume. So we're going to do, normal damage, and then, as you said, go ahead and put that Wrath stress into your anger, because that, totally fits. And then go ahead and roll your damage on them.
Listen, I've got to get him to, werewolf out one day. We've got to get that anger up.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so he's going to hit for... it's 18 again.
18, okay. So, with an 18... and how is it an 18? Oh, you...
2d8 plus my strength.
2d8 plus... Okay.
So my strength is 12.
Oh, God. That's right. Okay.
Dang.
So, with the 2d8. And then, so 18. So that is... there we go. You deal a grievous blow to her. As she's a competent, fighter in her own right. As she has a huge gata, sort of with her. And as she raises her weapon to sort of defend against it, you're just way too quick, way too sort of powerful. As you break through her defenses and just like stab her sort of in the shoulder, and it cuts deep as she like winces. And then and I believe you did move to get over to there, so that was your action. And then going over, it's going to go to them with a 70%. So this one is going to try to strike against you with as much fury and as possible. However, they don't get. Oh no, you're flanked. Yeah, so it's awesome. So 10%. So that's.
Great for
So
them.
awesome.
Oh, I love this. Okay, cool.
So awesome for the Iron Lions. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
right. So this is the first time that I've ever gotten to do this, but I get to roll on the lore master table because they got a 110%.
Oh no.
Oh no.
What?
Excellent.
So let me,
Oh dear.
Oh.
Do it.
so that is a 4. Reinforcements arrive in the form of 2 creatures.
Oh no.
So
Oh. 2 hidden
Bring 'em
Iron
on.
Lions come
I'll take
running.
them all out.
like, okay, let me go and see.
Send 100 at us. We've got it.
Okay. Maybe not. Ease up. All right. Okay.
And you
Maybe
see,
don't send
200.
100.
yeah, and you see that
200.
two more have entered the battlefield. As like, are you guys doing all right? What's taking you guys so long? And immediately they see that they're under like fire and they get like involved.
Great.
Thanks, guys. I love that. I'm glad that.
Hey, you know what? Anything
No,
for you.
the lore master is a player too.
There you go. Perfect. And then, okay, cool. So, they are going to succeed in their attack. So that is going to end up being a. So that's 19 points of damage that you take as you deliver a grievous blow to her, and then she ends up, using that momentum and then swinging her giant god or her giant mace into your side, and it cracks your sword. Not really cracks your armor, but like dents your armor and everything like that. And she's going to attack again, as she did not have to move. And that's 20 plus 10 is 30, and then plus another 10 is 40. So 40% against her defense. Yeah. So it doesn't work as with their second attack, as it threw her sort of off balance and she's unable to recoup.
Right now, my defense is 72.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Okay. So
Amazing.
with this creature right here, they are going to go ahead and strike out against Saudi. As they go ahead and take out their crossbow and they aim it up and they go to fire, pew, and get a 10% against you. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, she's not going to move, and she's going to reload and fire again. This time it is 100%. So from
No?
0s to 10s. No, yeah, no.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe if I say no
actually.
Yeah,
second
at-
time.
Did you think
I'll
about
believe.
maybe not?
At first you bamboozled me. So
Yeah, that's a crit.
gotcha. And it's also a lore master token. So let me go ahead and see.
Hey, you're
Can I
welcome. You know
look
what?
out this?
Blessings for you.
Okay. We're gonna say so 17. A creature of your choice makes a terrible mistake, causing themselves 2d6 damage. So we're gonna
Can I
do.
look out that hit, though? I'm within 15 feet of Sally.
Sure. It happens to Besma, your named NPC, as she is
God.
so like concerned with like this whole ordeal that it begins to sort of lightly rain around, and she kind of loses her footing, her footing, and ends up cracking her head on the floor as she gets up and kind of gets herself back. And that is 5 points of damage as and only people that see it are Harmony and Maeve, as they hear the sounds of like her slipping and falling and then getting up and to regain her composure. So to you, Saudi, that is going to be 5 points of physical stress as fires out a crossbow bolt as it lands in your leg. You feel nothing, but you obviously see that there's a crossbow bolt in your leg.
Oh, Mattel's stepping into that.
Are you gonna do that? Okay, perfect.
Yeah. He's stepping into that.
Okay, good. And then, so instead you're
He'll
gonna
take that physical stress.
yeah, you're gonna take that instead of Saudi, and then after
Thanks, buddy.
um after
I
that,
might not feel it, but I don't have a lot of physical strength. I got a lot of it. It's very low.
so this one. Okay, so this one's gonna go ahead and try to strike you really quick. Matteo, as it goes to 40%, which I know is not gonna hit. He's gonna try again, and he's gonna get 50%, which I know is not gonna hit. So, moving on from you, these two people just got into the battle, so they can't really do anything. So that is then going to go to Harmony with a 34%.
Oh, I think Maeve might be next.
Oh, you're right, 62%. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Maeve. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm just going to have my skeletons sort of move and attack first and see what everything looks like after. So, could you move this guy?
Yeah, let me.
Next to here.
I'll give you
Mateo?
the ability to move them.
Move them. Okay.
And then.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna shuffle them all down the line.
Sure, go for it. Yeah.
Choo-choo.
I am sorry, I live by a train tracks. I really tried to move my mic so fast.
No, you're
It was
fine.
like-
You're good.
It was
I
as
don't hear
soon as
anything.
as
And a
someone
train
said,
comes,
as soon as was
yeah.
like, yeah, D'Angelo was like, I'm gonna shuffle them. I just heard, "Brr," and then you muted it. And I was like, T. It was
Right.
perfect.
I tried. I really
It was
tried
so
to avoid
perfect
it.
though. It's so great.
And I can move them for you. Did you? And you said you just want to move them, sort of like down. Now over
Yeah,
here.
I just kind of. I'm wondering. I wanted to ask about moving through opponents.
You can't move through opponents, but you can move through allies. So if you, which you still have a route, as you can go like down here essentially, until you get to like right here. Oops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I would have the other one come up like right here. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good.
Mateo. Dead bodies crawling past it.
Like, excuse me, pardon me, as we're just like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll all three of their attacks.
Okay, go for it.
So I'm just gonna read them left to right. So this one got a 40 to hit.
Does hit?
Her.
Yep.
Okay. And then this second guy got a 60.
That's a
and
critical.
I'll hit the one
Yep.
who. Okay, and I will hit the one who was attacking Mateo.
Okay.
And then the last one got a 40 to hit this one.
Yep, all hit. This one's in particular gets a critical. Yeah.
Okay, great. So the first one is just regular hit. It's just 1d6, guys. But that's a 5 for
Oof.
on her.
Okay.
5 damage. And then the second one was the critical. So roll that. And that's 7 damage to the person attacking Mateo. And 6 damage to this person at the end. And then well, yeah, let's see. I think he can just get he can't even make it to the fight. But he'll keep moving.
You can do the run sort of action and just go double his movement. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe I will. Actually, let me see how.
And he
far
can stand over the dead body, or the unconscious body of yeah.
Okay, if I can do that, then I'll get them here because, and then I'll just leave them there.
Sure. Okay.
Try and like block the path of the other people coming in.
Perfect.
And that is just my skeletons. So now I can
Oh,
do something.
jeez.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
No,
You're
it's
good.
great.
You're- yeah. Oh, trust me.
I'm
you,
just glad that you're on our side.
Yeah, you need it.
Yeah. They don't do a lot of damage, but they are everywhere. Okay, I am going to just do my blood bolt attack on probably. They're all looking kind of the same, huh? I will just.
The weakest one right here is this one, barely hanging on. Yeah, everyone else seems pretty healthy.
But does Maeve know that Mateo's doing non-lethal damage?
I'm gonna say no, you don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. I think Maeve is just acting on instinct right now. Yeah, I will Blood Bolt to hit Actually, I think I would hit the person who was attacking Mateo.
Sure.
But it's still gonna be a lot of damage. I can kill them still. That is, I rolled 60, I add 18.
Okay, that'll be a critical.
So 88. Yeah. So, for a critical, since I don't take double the damage though, right? Because I take some damage from this.
Correct. You just take your damage and you deal double damage.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll 2d6 and take my damage from this first. Okay, so that is 9, 2 from my stuff, so that's plus 7. So that's 9, and then 6, so that's 15 times 3.
So 45.
That's 45 damage.
Okay. And then doubled. Jesus.
I doubled it already.
Oh, you already doubled it. Okay.
No, I doubled. I did all the math. 45 is the total.
Oh, 45 is
total.
total.
Because I rolled
I was like,
the dice
90
twice,
damage in one
then...
hit? I was like, damn. Okay, yeah.
No. 45, which is still, like, a lot.
That's still a lot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because
I rolled the dice twice, and then they get multiplied by 3.
There's no way to do a non-lethal necromancy blood bolt attack, as it
I assumed.
yeah fly through the air, and it's like a blood spear essentially, as it just like skewers this goblin as it goes through their chest, and their eyes go wide as they've never felt such immense power, and it even like throws them sort of off the bridge, or the dam, as they go flying and like just plummets into the waters, and then perfect. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, that's everything that
Okay.
I'm gonna do.
So then after that, it goes to Harmony. You were here watching this battlefield like unfold before you, as you saw that reinforcements from the Iron Lions come in, as everyone has their like magic and like, you know, weapons at the ready, and chaos is ensuing. You know, what would you like to do?
So I have a question.
Sure. Yeah.
Does Blessing of Thorns take any like concentration type of thing, or is it like cast and they just have it?
Let me check. Blessing of Thorns. Forgot there's a lot of purification, elixirs, hunter, rot priest, blessing. And is this a Green Witch ability? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Green Witch. Let me go ahead and go over to that super fast. That's priest, shaman, and then soldier, and witch. Okay, cool. So with the witch, that's the violet witch, the green witch. Here we go. So that is Blessing of Thorns. The Green Witch blesses up to 3 creatures' armor with temporary growth of immense thorns. Until dismissed, whenever those creatures are attacked, the thorns fire out at an enemy, and thorns deal 5 damage. So it's 5 lucidity per turn that you want to keep it up. So, you know, once you cast it, your next turn, you can, or even like right now, you can do another spell, like following up that. You're just going to take 5 lucidity until you dismiss it and turn it off. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and in Emerald Templars, you can have multiple of these sort of spells where you can like just take per turn sort of damage until you decide it's enough, or if you just want to go into like Oblivion, sort of with that. So yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone near me I can use that on? I can't tell.
Yeah, you can.
use it
The
on, like,
range is
30
30 feet, so you can use it on Maeve, Sadi.
And Mateo?
You could also move first if you wanted to get.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't use it on Mateo, but unless you move forward.
I can move up to 30, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, so can I move 30 closer so that I can hit all three? And then you can have.
Yeah. So
have
you
sword
can.
armor.
You can no longer reach Maeve unless you wanted to get into position where you can reach like 3 of your like Templars essentially.
Yeah.
I also
Okay.
didn't move on my last turn, so I could move. Also, if you're like telling me to move,
I would totally be
I could move forward like a little bit.
I feel like Harmony would have no problem being like, you, over here, now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, yes, ma'am, as you like
Oh.
head over. Perfect. Yeah, all of you have been blessed with these thorns as the Green Witch uses her powers and everything like that. As you suddenly see, like, kind of just like from your armor is immense growth of these like thorns that could, peel steel and everything.
Ra?
So Green Witches, Order of the Butterfly, it goes like hand in hand a lot of times.
What is what does it do it again?
So anyone who attacks you, it deals 5 damage to them. Just straight up, yeah. So and then you're gonna take like immediately 5 lucidity stress. So you're just gonna it ticks up starting now. But 3 of your allies have like a defense mechanism on them. So and we're gonna go with so that was your movement, and this is your actual turn, and that was a primary action. So you do have a secondary action if there's any spells or anything like that that have secondary. If not, you could end your turn if you'd like to.
I will end my turn right now.
Okay. And then after that, it is Sadi.
Okay. Sadi is going to step on up and I think is going to I'm going to swing at the one that's above where Mateo is with the
Sure.
intent of pushing them into the
He's
water.
like,
Yeah, well, because I've got a scythe that has like a 10-foot reach. So I was thinking
Yeah.
like I'd basically like flip it and just like drive it straight into their chest.
you're like non-lethal as you go ahead and...
Non-lethal-ish, technically.
So, yeah, go ahead and...
Damn did it.
Yeah, there you go, there
Yeah.
you go. Go ahead and do your strength and then
Okay.
your fight.
Okay.
And this is a contested. Yeah. And you're gonna get 10% bonus because they are flanked.
That's great. 28 then. Roll that.
A 28. Yeah, they ended up getting a 20, so you succeed on this. So
Whoa.
you push them off, and they plummet to the waters. So, lastly, we're gonna end our session in just a moment. But what happens this time is that you guys are all fighting, left, right, and center as like bodies are flying into the dam below and splashing and rippling, into these waters, these unnatural waters that should not be here at all. As you're fighting tooth and nail, being like, you picked the wrong fight, Templars. We are Legion, and we're gonna be able to take you down, even if you kill us, and we're gonna find out you killed us, and we're gonna take you, and all that. But as you're in the middle of all this, you guys kind of hear the sound of a sort of rumbling and bubbling and quaking from this actual dam. And from the depths, you end up seeing this giant amalgamation of water, of like malicious, malevolent sort of water, rise up in this weird sort of like snake-like coatl appearance. and it does not. Again, it looks like Twisted Nature essentially, as everyone for a brief moment stops what they're doing to gape in horror at this creature. As like you guys are in a crumbling old dam, as you all realize this, and with this creature, it seems like it has the ability to either break the dam or like shoot water out at you guys to be able to knock you off or what have you, as all of you just kind of freak out. And that is what we're going to end our session for tonight. So, one by one, we're going to have you guys go ahead and tell us who you are and where you can be found. We're going to start off opposite order with Isabel.
Oh my gosh, I'm not ready after that. What?
I mean,
what?
just because you're the closest person next to this giant water beast doesn't...
I know! I'm like, I thought I was being safe staying in the back this time. I was trying to be smart.
You were, but nature found a way.
Nature finds a way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I am Isabel. You can find me all over the internet at Isabel is okay. You can find me every first and third Monday on Pluto Cleric's Twitch channel in the Pathfinder 2E campaign Gods Amongst Mortal. We are raising funds for the Trans Empowerment Project, the entire campaign. So if you can check out the stream, check out the stream. If you can donate, please donate. If you can't, please share the Trans Empowerment Project. They're a really wonderful organization, and I'm really happy and proud to be raising funds for them. That is like the main thing that I'm promoting right now. That and this. So yeah, donate to the Trans Empowerment Project.
Perfect. Awesome. And then going over to Maria.
Hello, I'm Maria. You can find me on the internet at Happy Capster. I can be found streaming on Twitch various days of the week, doing a variety of different things, such as gaming or working or doing those sorts of things. You can also find me in a couple of other TTRPG shows. Every other Thursday evening, I am in a Strength of Thousands Pathfinder 2E game over on Waffles Maple Syrup. You can also find me starting in September back on Abraxas' Precipice, which is the Expanse TTRPG on Only Play Wizards. I'm also here, but there's something else coming up soon that will probably be announced soon as far as the TTRPG show goes, so keep your eyes open soon. And then on top of that, my company, Goblin Society Games, we're getting geared up and ready to release our newest book, a sci-fi setting for Savage Worlds. That's coming up also very, very soon. So lots of soon things. That's
Perfect.
me.
Amazing. Awesome. And then Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen /Youngles. Do stuff on the internet. Easter One by Night is back from our long hiatus this Tuesday. We also have some pretty fun, even though we don't have Hero Forge anymore, I think, giveaway. That's all done, but we do have another fun thing happening soon. But we actually are going to do some more fun things. So we have this, I think, 3 more episodes, and that's it. So, yeah, that's over on Bad House. And then I do other. I have a Make-A-Wish charity thing I'm doing this week, and other stuff. So I don't know. Pick a platform. I guess I don't know where to tell anyone to go anymore. But I'm still kind of on the tweeting thing. So
Yeah, just copy and
My
paste to
partner
4
called-
different. Yeah.
My partner called it Twix the other day, and it's the only thing I'm
Twix.
going to tell him now.
Twix.
That's it.
Stop.
That's
Oh
I
it.
don't
my
think
God.
Twitch deserves that.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
truly.
Oh, man.
Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when
So-
the website's still called Twitter, and like you still have to.
Yeah, the URL is still Twitter.
Yeah. So and then Daniel.
Yeah, hi, I'm Daniel. Pronouns are he, him. You can find me streaming on Twitch on twitch.tv/nightlichen. That's night with a K. And yeah, that's kind of all the only place I'm at beyond here, of course. So thank you.
Perfect. And once again, I am D'Angelo. This has been my channel. Thank you guys so much for checking out Emerald Templars and our episode for tonight. We'll be back next weekend with another great episode. I believe featuring a guest. Featuring Arcady, I think. And maybe Arcady will save you guys from this giant, water monster. Maybe not. We'll see. So,
We'll try our best.
exactly, yeah. So, perfect. I am gonna go ahead and let's see. Yeah, we're gonna transfer it over to a good friend of mine, and then we will head out of here. So, thank you guys again for everything, and let's get this raid going. Perfect. But yeah, thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
And perfect. The raid has gone out, and we are good.